So this is day 2. I know it has been a while since the last video, but I made this screensaver that looks like you're coding for Mac for a practice of Objective-C. If you're interested, click here or go to the link in the doobly-doo to download for free. Last time, we're at the dawnbreak of the day I'm going to move into my residence. So I kept waiting. I don't know whether you guys had this happen to you before, I hope not, but when you hold your pee for a long time, at first it's painful, but then you kind of adapt to it. I was waiting for like 8 to 10 hours, I think, and at the end, I just don't feel anything. I think that's probably very bad for myself. The same thing happens when you haven't slept for a long time, when you haven't run for a long time, or when you haven't had food for a long time. At that time, I don't have the run thing. Yet. At about 7, there's an old lady cleaning the residence. I talked to her, and yeah, we just had a chat. She couldn't let me in because she doesn't have the authority, so I have to keep waiting to pee. I waited a while watching her doing her cleaning stuff until the residence administration person came in. And so he let me in. He showed me the place nicely. It was, but they are not ready for the registering yet. They need to do some setup. So I was shown to the common room, which there's newspaper and vendor machines. After all the paperwork, a fellow student showed me to my place. I think they do that for all the other students as well. He was being really detailed. He was like literally, that's a toilet, that's a kitchen, this is a table, that's a book. Yeah, I stopped him right there. Okay, just in case you're wondering, this didn't came with my room. I bought this from IKEA. So then I set up all my luggage in the room, took only the essential stuff. And then, it's my first day in Japan. I need to register my address on my Saga card, because you have to do that. It's the law, I think. If you don't do that, they deport you. And I also need a bank account to pay for the residence. And to have them transfer money to my account, because I want the Japanese money. And then I also need a stampy thing to stamp my stamps. And some power adapters, because I was too arrogant when my dad kindly offered to pack my stuff. Because last time when I allowed them to do that, there's a lot of junk. I had no idea I'll be talking to a police officer by the end of the day. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a bus stop outside, but I felt awkward and don't know how to pay, so I just went by walking. My residence, as I said previously, was on the side of a hill. It's like here. So there's a lot of slopes. There was a bank in the nearest Densha station. So I went in and I asked, okay, I'm an international student, can I make a new bank account? They explained to me kindly, no, you may not make a bank account. Any foreigners who stayed in Japan less than 6 months cannot make a bank account. Okay, so how do I get money from my home country? They don't know. They also told me a hanko is needed. I then walked to the government office to do the daimyo card thing, which was not close at all. By the way, it's also where I was told a hanko is not needed for a bank account. Only if you're a Japanese person, you use it for a long time. Just for extra security. You can just sign if you want. The officer there was really nice to me. She would correct columns I felt wrong just for me. She doesn't even ask me to write it again on another sheet of paper. The technology was a bit awkward though. My new registered address was handwritten with fine calligraphy onto my daimyo card. like really small characters. I cannot write that. It's like very professional handwriting. So after that, there's another bank outside. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And they made my account. It turns out it's not the case I can't make an account. I couldn't make an account that can send money and pay to people. Because of that, I also can't make an account that receive money from my home country. You might notice that there's multiple things that doesn't make sense in that. Or why do I need a bank account to pay for my residence if it's mandated by Japanese law? I cannot have a bank account that pays. Maybe there's some more misunderstanding there. A funny thing happened at the bank too. I think it might be a cultural thing. So they admit it's a law. Nobody could make that account for a foreigner like me that allows transferring. But they refused to tell me, therefore no other bank could provide such services. I was literally told it's a law. I was literally told that no other bank could do that. And then they took that back. Because the boss talked to the person and they had to take that back. After that, I went to a couple supermarkets to try to find a power adapter thing. And there's no luck. I went to an electronics shop and they don't have it. You see, this is a major difference between Japan and Canada. There's so many immigrants in Canada, so they will sell stuff for them. I eventually found an adapter for Japanese people going abroad, and there's a cable in it that's exactly what I want. I will fully ignore the label on it saying for outside Japan use only. My computer have not exploded yet. That's why you're watching this video. After all that, I went back to my residence, put down everything, and I kind of need to poop. But there's no toilet paper. Because I didn't bring one. Because I was a jerk when they were trying to help me do the packing. I also need some showering supplies to do the showering. Oh, and there's this thing that requires you to buy special plastic bags. Like this one. To put your garbage in. I'm gonna make a video just for that. So I put on my backpack and went out again. Now it's time to mention my money crisis. I've brought about 40,000 yen to Japan because I was very wrong to exchange money in airport. Do not do that. The upfront fee of the residence was about 30k, and there's the taxi and the stuff I bought. And with less than 10 bucks worth of cash. I ended up with less than 10 bucks worth of cash. I thought I could just get by with credit card, but no. You see, the thing is, I don't have access to all the convenient things I use all the time, like internet on my phone. I need at least something to tell my parents to send the money, or call my bank, maybe ask them, or Google the problem. But to get a phone number or internet in my room will require money in the first place, which I don't have. A deadlock. I went down and bought most of the things I need at a convenience store. They also sell bus cards, but I need cash for that, of course. So I told the clerk I'll be back and went to the nearest ATM. My cards won't work. My visa from China says I got a wrong password. And since I never used my password, I'm not sure I got it right. My visa from TD simply won't work. They just say there's a problem. So I went back and asked for advice. I was referred to the nearest police station with a very friendly and equally unhelpful police officer. Then I just went back without a bus card. And that's the whole day. It turns out I had the right password. Damn you, whoever programmed that ATM. What I needed to do was to call the bank and enable cash withdrawal, which only costs $3 per transaction for the Chinese credit card. But I couldn't possibly know that due to lack of means of communication. The next day, I went to school and they had internet at the lab and a Mac just for me. and everything ended up okay. For me, this is an interesting experience. It's a lot happening in just one day. I felt like I was in an emergency survival state. For example, despite being really tired and all that, the whole day all I ate was some bananas and a couple onigiris. I could have bought better food, but I just don't desire proper food that much. After walking about 15 kilometers with lots of slopes, I had some nice sleep. And that's the end.